Important. Get your notebooks out. Get ready to write.
Thank you. Okay. As I'm listening to these testimonials, and I like that you guys do this. We don't do this at our regional, so I'm going to suggest that we do. But what I like about everything that I just heard there was as you're out there hearing your no's, I hope that you remember this. That here's a story of 5 people that lives were changed because someone stuck to it. And somebody was persistent enough that, they heard the no, but they had so much conviction for what they had to offer that they were going to keep dripping anyway. Lori's a testimonial of that. I'm a testimonial of that. Most people, the first time they hear Nerium, they're not like, yes, right? It takes a little while. And then what you're hearing over and over again is, I'm so glad she offered. I'm so glad I was invited. I'm so glad they didn't give up on me. So remember that when you're hearing the no's, because every single one of them said no at first as well. The Live Happy, how many of you guys have been reading your Live Happy? I hope you do. On this month, on page 40, there's a great article about an Olympic skier and the whole mindset of flow. It's amazing. There's also a great article about hope and how hope can affect you. So I encourage you guys to read that, especially if you're having any trouble. This can be considered your self-development, your 10 pages a day. Read your Live Happy, and then when you're done with it, put your label on it and drop it off at the doctor's office, or give it to the barista, or pay it forward, give it to someone after you're done with it. Or have a couple of subscriptions sent to your house, put your labels on them, and drop them off every month somewhere where you want to inspire people. You guys probably don't care about... Kansas is just like Cancun, let's be honest. Right? You guys don't ever want to leave. Write this down. I don't care if you're brand new, and I'm going to tell you why. Write this dates down. August 21st through August 25th, Cancun 2014. I told you guys that I joined the business on Halloween, which is, for most of us, October 31st. And the bash that I went to was on November 8th, so that's a week later. My upline said, hey, are you going to the bash? I'm like, what? I just quit my job, invested $1,000. No, I'm not going to the bash. I went to the bash because she told me I needed to. There was, 3,000 people there. The national conferences I told you that I was used to would fit in this room, so I was completely a fish out of water. The other thing is that in my other company, there wasn't very many people there, and I was always doing the trainings and things like that. So to walk through this sea of people and nobody even knew who I was like, excuse me, hello, doesn't anybody recognize me? Well, that sucked, So I sat there in my chair and I was looking at the Jumbotron because I didn't know you're supposed to get there early, right, to get a good seat, So I sat in the back and I was looking at the Jumbotron, and the thing came up about Cava. And you needed to be paid as a national marketing director by March 31st. This was November, and I just started. And I wrote this down. And I remember sitting there in my seat going, I don't know what a national marketing director is. I don't know what I got to do to get there. I don't even know if it's possible, but I'm going to write it down. If I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have gone for it. Now, did I believe in that moment that I could get there? Probably not. I didn't even know. I didn't even know what that meant. But I wrote it down and put it as one of my goals. And here I was sitting with that baby brand partner. And I followed the system, like I told you. I put my head down, work, and then Cabo started getting a little bit closer, until January. So January 1st, I was an executive director. January 31st, I hit RMD, which is good. That's pretty quick, right? I had ramped my group volume up to $75,000. I had it must have been February, because I had 1 month. And my sponsor said, okay, we're going NMD in February. And I was like, are you high? Because marijuana just became legal in Washington, so it was quite likely. I was like, Dana, put down. No. It took me all this time, and I've been working my booty off to get to 75,000, and you want me to double it in February, which, just so you know, is the shortest day of the year, or shortest month of the year. She's like, yep, we're going NMD. You're going to go on this vacation today. And I didn't know what I didn't know. So I was like, all right, I'm in. So for the month of February, I mean, I don't think my children saw me. I was up late every night, my head down, bottles out, phone calls, the whole thing. And on February 28th at 10 a.m. in the morning, I was $13,000 away from the 150. And I was like, okay, I had never had a $13,000 day. And it was the end of the month, and it was like do or die. And I remember sitting there in my room going, well, I guess I missed it. I mean, I was thinking to myself, I missed it. And I got a call from Ann, and she's like, how are you doing? I'm like, 13,000. She's like, keep going. I'm like, okay, so now you're hanging out with Dana, and you're high. Because I've never had a 13,000. I've like blown my wad. I've like called everybody that I know. I mean, I've been pushing. I've been pushing everybody all month. Let's do this. And it was kind of like the last hurrah. And Anna said, it's not over till it's over. And I just got on the phone with Dennis Windsor, and he says, keep going. I'm like, well, Dennis Windsor says, keep going. I mean, I'm not going to, okay, I'm going. But what do I have? I mean, trust me, I have exhausted all of my leads. I have called everyone I know. I have gone with my team, and I'm like pushing. And the coolest thing happened, and I've never told this story either. You guys are getting a lot of my stuff. But the coolest thing happened, my team started putting things up on their Facebook to their friends. We're going for it, you guys, we're going for it. Let's help Sarah get to NMD. And there was all this synergy of all these people that were trying to help me. Do you remember that? People trying to help me, and it really humbled me. Because I was like, I mean, wow, you guys are, I mean, that's really cool that you guys are, excited for me, and you're pushing me, and you're giving me the energy and the synergy to keep going. And we ended up at $152,000. So, what I take from that story is if you're a baby brand partner sitting here and you're thinking, how am I going to get to $150,000 by the time for this promotion? Like, I've already heard 3 no's. I haven't even got my first brand partner signed on with me yet. It doesn't matter where you are right now, because if you're committed to creating it, you have plenty of time. And if you're sitting there at an RMD and you've been capped there for a while and you're thinking, how am I going to double my volume? It's taken me a year to get to 75. How am I going to get there by St. Louis? I'm just telling you that obviously it can be done. People didn't think you could walk on the moon until what? Someone walked on the moon. People didn't think you could run a 5-minute mile until what? Somebody walked ran a 5-minute mile. I didn't know you could double your volume until I watched my upline do it before me. But if you want to and you're willing to do it, go for it. But it all starts by writing down the goal and knowing where you got to go, right? So we can all miss stuff. Oh, look at what did I do? Oh, that's not it. Nobody ever lets me be in charge of this, So the qualification period between June 30th and May 31st. May 31st is the deadline to hit NMD. That gives you 5 months. There are going to be people on that trip that haven't even joined the company yet. So why not you? But I mean, only if you want to, because I'm sure Kansas is beautiful in August. Okay. Oh, we already did Monica. Oh, okay. We're going to skip right past that. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to fast forward through some of this that we already talked about, okay? Do you guys understand that Nerium gives back? Do you guys understand that the Nerium gives back and the 3 or free are 2 different things? I just want to briefly touch on that because this is important. When you buy a kit, a success pack or a premier pack, you should never have to buy another bottle of Nerium again. If you're working your business, it's a one-time investment and it comes with a lifetime of free inventory. And I want you to tell your prospects that because that's a big deal. That doesn't happen in other companies. Every time you sign a brand partner or a preferred customer, then you're going to get a free bottle of Nerium. What you may not know is that it doesn't come the next day, Aaron. We get a lot of people that I signed up my preferred customer, it's been a week, where's my bottle? Okay, well there is a 30-day money-back guarantee time frame, right? So what happens is you sign up the PC on the 1st, they get until the 30th to return their bottle, and then it takes a couple of weeks for their next bottle to come out, and then you're going to get your bottle. So it's going to be the first 6 or 8 weeks that you don't get any free bottles coming. But they will come. Nerium keeps great track of it. You don't need to call customer service on day 7, where's my bottle? And the same thing with a brand partner. A brand partner has a 30-day time period that they can return their kit. So it's after that time goes by, then it's a couple weeks for processing, and then they send you your bottle. But once they start coming to you, they'll be coming on a regular basis. They will group them together weekly. So if you get 1 bottle that week, they're going to send you just 1 bottle, and you're going to pay $9.95. If you got 3 earned that week, they'll send you all 3 together, and you'll pay $9.95 for the shipping. And sometimes we get people that complain and say, I don't want to have to pay $9.95 for the shipping. And I always say, okay, if there was a sale and Nerium was selling bottles for $9.95, would you get a few? Okay, enough said. All right.
There you go.
Okay, and the Nerium Gives Back is, or excuse me, that is Nerium Gives Back. The 3 are free, we did that backwards, but the 3 are free is a different program. So if you have 3 customers on the auto ship, the following month, your personal bottle is free. You guys all know that, right? If you have 6 customers, you get 2 bottles for free. If you have 9 customers, you max out at 3 bottles free, monthly, coming to you. Here's what you may not know. If you don't have your auto ship set up to get 3 bottles coming to yourself, you will get the 3 bottles, but you won't get the volume for it. Think about how that ripples down your team. If you're only set up on 1 bottle of auto ship, but you're earning 3 consistently, up your auto ship to reflect that. So then now instead of having $80 in ADO volume, you're going to get $240 in ADO volume. If 10 people on your team, that's $2,400 that you're missing out on group volume. Does that make sense? Okay, so just make sure that you know that and that you're training that to your teams. Whatever you're going to get, okay, Nerium keeps track of how many bottles they owe you. Okay, so if you have 9 customers, you're going to get the 3 free bottles, no matter what. Okay? But if your auto ship isn't set up for you to be ordering those 3 bottles, you're not going to get the volume for it. So you need to go into your ADO and up your bottles to 3. Does that make sense? Now, I only recommend doing that if you're consistently getting 3. Otherwise, you got to manage it all the time. Like mine's set at 2, even though I always get 3. I just have it at 2. But I would, if everybody on your team is only set up for 1 and they're earning 2 or 3, you're missing out on potentially a lot of group volume, which could mean the difference between qualifying for your Lexus or not. So just make sure that you're managing that and teaching your team to manage that as well. As far as the cab bonuses go, you max out at senior director?
At senior director, you cap out at 30.
Okay, so you're getting 32 at senior director. This is a little bit of an old presentation because it doesn't have the day cream with it. But just know that every time someone signs up as a PC, you're getting paid. And the more customers you have, the higher that cab bonus is. And that cab bonus is a one-time acquisition bonus. So you don't get that monthly. What happens is you sign a PC, you get a free bottle, you get a one-time customer acquisition bonus, and then you get paid residual every time that bottle goes out. So you sign a customer in January, they continue to get the product, you're still getting paid on that same customer in July. The work that you did in January, you're still getting paid on every month. And that compounds as you build customers. You get 1 in July, 1 in February, 1 in March, 1 every month for a year. Come December, you're getting paid on 12 customers, but you really only went out and got 1 new one. So you can see how that keeps going over time. I remember when I first started, Anna Woodward was talking about the 23rd of the month. You know, where they run all the ADOs on the 23rd. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? And she told me, oh, my group volume goes up $150,000 on the 23rd. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, that means you're like an NND before the end of the month. Right? I don't know. She's like, yeah. And now, 1 year later, my group volume goes up $150,000 on the 23rd. And the funny thing about that is I was telling Cindy Haffenbrack that story at a market party. I'm like, yeah, now mine goes up. She goes, oh yeah, mine goes up like $100,000 a day. And I was like, oh my gosh, this seems like such a lot. And she goes, yeah, but the funny thing is Jeff Olson was saying that pretty soon, when we're international, our volumes are going to be at $100,000 the first hour of the month. And I was like, So I can't wait to come back here and say, remember when I told you? My volume goes up $100,000 a day. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Lexus here. First, you want to start with your 3-year free, which, by the way, this has nothing to do with getting paid out in the comp plan. You could have 0 customers and still get paid the comp plan. I don't recommend it, but you could. This 3-year free right here is only so that you get your personal bottle free every month, because you have to have one coming to you to be an active brand partner. If you don't have 3 customers, you're going to pay the $80. So you might as well have 3 customers, right? Okay. To fast start qualify, you want to have 3 new brand partners. We touched base on this in the beginning. 3 brand partners that sign up so that your group volume is $2,000, which would be you, your 3 friends, in your first 30 days. Statistically, people who do this will stick around 10 times longer and make 10 times as much money and stick around longer than people who don't. It's what we call the belief check. If you can make money quickly, then you believe in what you're doing, right? You see the benefit. You get excited. It means you got a couple of yeses. Maybe you have some synergy going with the people that you brought into the team. So it's really important, not just because you want your 250, but because you want someone to build something and stay here and be glad they made the decision to get a kit. When you do that, and your group volume is also 4,500, you get your iPad. You guys know this because many of you received your iPad. When you can help 3 people get their iPad, you can qualify for a Lexus. Now, they don't have to get their iPad, they don't have to do it in that window, but this is just an example of how you get to your Lexus, okay? Because your group volume requirement is 12,500. And why do you think it's so low? I talked about this at the market parties, because we all know in our town, we all know that one legend that drove a pink Cadillac, right? Oh, is that the one that drove a pink Cadillac? She was amazing. She must really be into her business. You're not going to find the one legend in Olathe or Overland Park that drives a Lexus. It's going to look like a Lexus dealership out here a few regionals from now, because everybody's driving a Lexus. You're going to give your keys to the valet, and you're going to be like, I'm the white Lexus, and he's going to be like, seriously? Be more specific. What's your license plate say? Is it Live Happy? Is it Nate? Is it 4 Pumps? What is it? Okay, so the idea is that nobody promotes in a bubble, right? Nobody gets to Lexus or NMD or beyond because they did something so great. They did it because they created synergy and followed the system that was laid out for them. So your job is to help the people underneath you succeed. It's not really like that in corporate America, typically. It's more like you're a little bit competitive because there's only room for one throne at the top, right? You have to wait for somebody to die before you can get there. So this is a really cool program and why it attracts people. And what you get is a $500 car bonus. And let me tell you, you might drive a Tesla and you might not want a Lexus. But when your friends find out that you got a free Lexus and you just joined that company a few months ago, and furthermore, your sales skills suck, they're going to think, maybe I should look at this, right? Well, if she can do it, she's got a Lexus, and I am really going to kill it. And they also want to make sure it's like within 4 model years. You know, they don't want you getting like a 1998, Lexus. What's up, y'all? Like just spinners and just dice and just, little Bondo on the front, free, y'all. Yeah, no. They want me driving something that looks like I would want to be driving it too. Something new and exciting, attractive, and without a bunch of dents. And it's kind of fun to go into the Lexus dealership and pick out a car. You can pick out whatever model you want, whatever features you want, and roll out of there without even opening your checkbook. Pretty cool. $500, $750, and $1,000. Those are the different levels. As you move up, your Lexus bonus moves up. So if your car payment is $600, Nerium will give you $500, and then you'll make up the difference until you get to the next level. Make sense? Okay. Also, at the senior director, you get to coach with David Bird. How many of you guys have listened to him or coached with him or whatever? It's kind of funny. When I first had my coach as NMDs, you get some coaching calls with him. Mindy's worked with him, I'm sure. And you get once a month little coaching with David Bird. And I didn't really know how big the deal this dude was. And so on our first call, he says, hey, okay, Sarah, he's asking me some questions. Well, what kind of personal management system do you currently use? And I wanted to say, None. I don't have one. But I just said, well, I use the Franklin Covey planner, which is sort of true. I have one. And then I said, I don't know if you know what that is. And he goes, oh yes, I'm familiar with that. I actually trained him. And I was like, of course you did. You know? So I better start using it. So anyway, he had his own planner and we started doing it. But you get to get on the senior director's call. And that's just, some information that really helps you build your business, because at that point, you've got people working underneath you. You're on your way to the next level. It's a really powerful call. It's all secret squirrel, so we don't even put up the number. But it's something that you can get on every week and listen to him. On your roadmap to your bonus, what this looks like is if you can help 5 people in each leg get their Lexus, then you should be at the national marketing director level. Does any national marketing director's tree look like this? No. It's more like I've got 40 Lexuses over here, no Lexuses there, 2 Lexuses there. This is just kind of a gauge for you that the idea is to keep your legs as even as possible. It almost never happens that way. So if you've got 1 runaway leg and 2 duds, don't worry, you're right on track. But in a perfect world, you would have 3 even legs, and you would have Lexus earners in each leg to the tune of about 5 in each leg. And that would give you the volume to get to your $25,000 bonus. Okay? And just notice that means you really only need 3 legs. So as you're building your team, you're moving your new brand partners underneath those existing legs to help pop iPads and pop Lexuses and move people up. So that's really cool. Most companies don't do it like that. If you move somebody underneath another team, then you lose out somehow, and you never lose. This is all a win-win. All ships rise with the tide, so this is a pretty unique part of our comp plan. So, we want you guys to focus on your weekly check. Your weekly check is your bread and butter for the first several months of your business. Your weekly check will be more than your monthly check. Remember my $200 monthly check? Your weekly check should be what the majority of your money in the first several months. And you're in control of that. What's your weekly check? New business, new brand partners signing up, and new customers coming on board, and your fast builder bonus. Do you guys understand how huge that builder bonus is? So, some of you guys were in Texas when everyone was like levitating when they started talking about that. Of course, I wasn't one of them because I don't know anything about, I didn't know what was so cool about it. I just knew that everyone was freaking out, so I figured I better join in. Seriously, the person next to me, I took my daughter to the Jonas Brothers concert. She was like, crying the whole time. And the person next to me was like, I was like, dude, simmer down. I'm kind of golf boppy. But now I wish I could go back there and really get excited about what this is. So when you sign up a customer as a senior director and above, you're getting these differentials, which means that if I sign up Mindy and I'm a brand partner, I would get $50. If Lori is a national marketing director and Lori were to sign Mindy, she'd get $325, or no? Yeah. So what happens is I sign Mindy, I get 50, and Lori gets the difference, the differential, the difference between what I would earn and she would earn. You guys following me? Think about how big this part of it is too, because when you're new and you're building, it's everything you do. You sign a customer, you sign a brand partner, you sign a customer, you sign a brand partner, and then you get paid. As you grow, it's what your team does. You're staying ahead of your team, and when they are doing those behaviors, you're also getting a piece of that pie. So your weekly checks can be $500, $1,000, $1,200, $2,000, $3,500, and you didn't sign anybody that week. But your team is growing around you, and you're getting that differential pay. So that's number one. Secondly, the builder bonus, the 250, 250, 250. The way that I explained this at our market party was this. Imagine if you were one of the first founding members of Nike. You guys have heard of Nike? Come on. Yes. Okay, founding member of Nike. And every time someone bought a pair of shoes anywhere in the world, you got a penny. So people are buying shoes in Japan, in Mexico, in Australia, in wherever. People, every time a shoe goes across the register, you get a penny for the rest of your life. Can you wrap your brain around that's a lot of dough, right? This builder bonus code is kind of like that, in the sense that once you're in the code, and let me make sure the next slide doesn't explain it better. Okay. Once you're in the code, meaning once you fast start qualified or hit director, we already talked about that, then every single person that you sign up after that is coded to you. And when they fast start qualified, you get 250, which is better than a kick in the teeth, right? 250. Okay, got it. So if I sign 10 people, I could potentially get $2,500. Great. That's a good amount of money, but it's not like blowing my mind, right? Someone doesn't get in the code until they fast start qualify or hit director. So the first 3 people minimum that they sign are also coded to you because they're not coded. So when you sign up a brand partner, they've signed their first 3. Those 3 people are coded to you. Their first 3 people are coded to you. Their first people are coded to you. Their first people are coded to you, and so on and so on and so on, infinitely down. So I told you go infinitely wide, you're starting new bonus legs, and infinitely down, your bonus code goes. So what that means is, 2 years from now, you guys are all rolling out of bed at like the crack of noon, because you don't have anywhere to go. You got nothing going on, no JOB, no traffic and pantyhose for you. And you check your phone and you realize, wow, Australia's up, Japan's up. I just got $7,500 deposit because a bunch of people in China fast start qualified. Now I don't know them, I didn't recruit them, I don't know how to pronounce their name. I'll never meet them, I don't know their language. But I love me some Ninja Warrior. You guys watch that? Okay, I love that show. Anyway. That was my train of thought. Okay. And they're coded to you because you didn't know them. You don't know anybody in China, but guess what? Someone who knows someone who knows someone that signed up 6 months ago somewhere in your bonus line, and then 6 months later someone signed someone who knew someone in China, and that 250 rolls all the way up to you. Forever. So that money is going to pay you for the rest of your life. And guess what else, guys? It's going to pay your kids for the rest of their life. It's going to pay your grandkids for the rest of your life. It's what we call legacy money. It never goes away. That $1 million bonus that we're all excited about in our lifestyle bonuses, that's a lot of dough. I wouldn't mind $1 million bonus, I'm not going to lie. But once that $1 million is paid out, it's gone. It's paid out. It doesn't pay you for the rest of your life. It's not paying my grandkids. You see how huge that is? And the beauty of all of that is we haven't even launched yet. There isn't anybody selling Nerium in Japan yet. There isn't anybody selling Nerium in China, in Canada, in Mexico yet. So every single person that joins Nerium International, for as long as this company goes, has to be under one of you. If there has ever been a I'm going off the slide now, I'm going rogue. If there's ever been a right place, right time, you guys, you found it. Because not only is what I've learned is it's cool to be part of a ground floor company. I've been a part of 3 of them, but it's even better to be part of a ground floor company that gets off the ground. Just saying, right? So 10 years with a company. In 10 years, one person got to the top of the comp plan, and guess what she got? A rock. And I'm not talking like a shiny diamond rock. I'm talking about like a rock that said like hope on it or something. Seriously, it's like, am I being punked? Like, that's what I get? One person in 10 years gets to executive director level, whatever it was called, and you don't even get a prize. Second company, one person went to the top of the comp plan. Guess what she got? A crown. And ask me how often I wear it. All the time. And I got one of those little, what are those things called? A little wand thing too. Oh, and a sash. That comes in handy, never. Yeah. So when I came into Nerium and saw that there were people at the top of the comp plan and the company was only 2 years old and not one person, tons of people Hundreds of people making six figures in less than 2 years. I knew we were onto something here. But the beauty of it is of course, we're slated to be the fastest company to get to $1 billion. We'll do it. It's already done. It's on its way. Write it down. Okay? But to be in the infancy of that, seriously, what kind of an opportunity that is? And when you're out there hearing no's, I'm going way off the slide, but when you're out there hearing the no's, first of all, be glad that you're actually having a conversation with a human being about an opportunity, that they can say no, that's good. But that's when the opportunity is at its ripest. Because if everybody got it, if everybody understood what a good opportunity this was, it wouldn't be a good opportunity anymore, would it? That's what the word opportunity means. I compared a lot to Microsoft. Back in the early 80s, actually the late 70s, when Bill Gates and Paul Allen gathered up some of their buddies and said, hey, we're going to start this little software company because we believe everybody's going to have a personal computer really soon. And everyone laughed them out of the room. Like, why would anybody want a computer? What can a computer do? Control, Alt, Delete, what? Paper Jam? I don't want one of those in my house. PC, Paper Jam. Right? Well, guess what? Some people decided to invest. Some people saw the vision. And everyone else walked out. And what do you think those people are thinking right about now? Same thing with Facebook. I've got this great idea where people can interface on the computer and know everybody's business. Why would you want to know anybody's business? So if another company comes along right now and tries to duplicate that, do another Microsoft Forms or another Facebook Forms or any company, is it going to have the same magnitude, the same social prowess that those did? No, because it's already been done. Everybody already believes it. Everybody already knows we all have personal computers, right? Everybody already gets the concept of Facebook. Do you see? So, Instagram comes along, same concept, but it's not blowing minds and changing the world in the way that we interface, is it? So it's the same kind of thing with this. When people are opposing you and saying night cream, who wants a night cream, or that stuff doesn't work, or I heard if you use that for 6 months, you're going to grow a third eye, or whatever. Okay, oppose it then. And you can just roll with it all the way to the bank, because it's not going anywhere. The anti-aging industry isn't going anywhere. And to have the #1 product with the best results built on nothing but integrity, about making people better, this is a slam dunk. And you already get it. You're already going. The train's moving, you're on it. So if you have friends that don't want to get on it with you, bless and release. It's cool. It's not going to affect you. Right? And guess what? We learned today, maybe at some point they'll come around. And then you'll welcome them and show them how to do what you did. So don't be derailed by those no's. You should be hearing way more no's than yeses. I don't know where that slide went, but I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know what that means. Okay. Oh, okay, good. All right. So first of all, I want to thank you guys because it's a Saturday and it's beautiful outside. And I know some of you guys were going to mow your lawn and do other things, and so I appreciate you taking the time to come today and listen to me. I was here 6 months or so ago, and we did one small event in a living room and another in a monkey business, and which was great. And I'm really excited to come back and have 4 events, and they're all really big, and you guys, I can see on your faces, you get it, you're excited, and I know that when I come back next time, we're going to have to, I'm going to weave through the parking lot of Lexuses, and when the RMDs are going to stand up, half the room is going to stand up, when the NMDs are going to come up and all with their checks, and everybody's going to be excited, because you guys are putting Kansas on the map, and 10 years from now, you get to say that you were part of building this global brand that has this huge global halo that's so much more than skincare. So much more than skincare. And everyone that you know is going to be so excited that you shared it, that you did it. You're teaching your children how how to take control of their own lives, their own time, their own finances. You're teaching your friends that you're not afraid to hear no, that you're not afraid to run with the lesser crowd of opinion, that you know who you are, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. And Nerium is just the vehicle to all of your greatness. So thank you so much for letting me be a part of that.